Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about union legislature. So in this part 1 we are going to discuss or we are going to focus only on the Lok Sabha. So let's start. But before starting we need to understand what are main objectives of this chapter, why we are going to learn this chapter. In this chapter we are going through Indian parliament system, then comparison of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, their relations, their powers and their functions, that we are going to understand in this video. Let's start. So as we can see, in Government of India, that has three main organs which are going to work for the Government of India, or government is going to work through these main organs. What are these? These are legislature, then executive and judiciary. These are three organs, or as we can see, these are three pillars on which Government of India is standing. So we can find, according to the constitution, how these three pillars are having division of their powers. So first of all we are having legislative, that is having two type of bodies, president and parliament. Parliament is divided into two houses. First house is Rajya Sabha and second is Lok Sabha. Later slides we will be finding what is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And second, that is called executive. Executive, again it is having head of the state who is president, then below him prime minister and council of ministers, and last we are having a third organ which is judiciary or judicial system. So the judicial system just work as executive is just representing from below. So same way judicial system is also working from the grassroots level. So it is starting from the district court, then above the district courts are high courts. Those are located only on the capital cities. Sometime two or more states are having similar court, like we are having in the case of Punjab and Haryana, where Punjab and Haryana High Court togetherly located in Chandigarh and called Punjab and Haryana High Court. And last, that is Supreme Court, that is highest power or highest authority in the judicial system. So like that we are having some provisions in the center. In India the power is divided into center and states. Like center is having houses Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, like that states are also having their powers. They are also choosing their legislative assemblies. There are, we can find two type of assemblies, like one house that is called unicameral legislative assembly, or where there is only one house that is called Vidhan Sabha. So that Vidhan Sabha is having all the members of legislative assembly, or we can find that these are having MLAs. MLAs means member of legislative assemblies. Those are directly chosen by the people or elected by the people from different legislative constituencies in a particular state. So, but on the other hand, some states are having two houses. This type of system is called bicameral legislative system. In this system, the two houses, lower house and upper house. Lower house, that is called Vidhan Sabha. Upper house, that is called Vidhan Parishad. Lower house, Vidhan Sabha, where members are directly elected by the people of that particular state or from the different constituencies. They are called MLAs. And members of Vidhan Parishad are indirectly chosen by the people. They are directly elected by the members of Vidhan Sabha, like some those are belonging to few parties, or some those are having anything some those are from the art stream, from the music stream, from the writer stream. So like that, few are represented in the Vidhan Parishad. So this is up to the state that whether they want a provision of only Vidhan Sabha and whether they want also a upper house of Vidhan Parishad. Like we can find some of the states like Maharashtra is also having two houses, Gujarat that is also having two houses. Similar way, if we talk about one house, Punjab that is having only one house, that is Vidhan Sabha. That is up to the states how many houses they want. Like houses are divided in center and state, like that there is division of power between center and state, that is on the three list. So first list, that is union list, second list, that is state list, third list, that is concurrent list. So you can understand this with the help of this particular diagram. Here you can see there are three lists: union list, concurrent list and state list. Let's understand them. So on the union list, only the union legislature has power to make laws on this list. For example, on the matters of defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs and communication, etc. Same way, matters that are important for state such as state administration, or we can say police, trade, agriculture, irrigation, on all these lists only state government can make laws. And third list, that is concurrent list, this include matters which are important for both center as well as for the state. For example, education, forest, trade, marriage, adoption, succession, etc. So on all these matters, state as well as center can make laws, but here the upper hand is always with the central government or union government. Anytime union government can choose any matter out of this concurrent list and can put this into union list or either in the state list. That center has always right to revise this list any time, or anytime any of the matter can be taken from state or can be taken from the concurrent list. Similar way, as we can see that we are having some houses in the state, we are having two type of houses in the central legislature. So that is called parliament. Parliament has two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Here you can see that present number of the Lok Sabha, as you can see that Lok Sabha is having 545 members and Rajya Sabha is having 245 strength. So members of both the parliament are called MPs. So these MPs we elect from different constituencies for the Lok Sabha, and on the other hand we choose these MPs for the Rajya Sabha by indirect voting. Indirect voting means our representatives of Lok Sabha and representatives of state legislative assemblies, they choose their representatives to sit in the Rajya Sabha. Whereas Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha is also different in their term period, whereas term period of the Lok Sabha, that is 5 year, and term period of Rajya Sabha, that is 6 year, whereas Lok Sabha that dissolve after every 5 year, and whereas on the Rajya Sabha that never dissolve or that is always working house, it's some members get retired every year. So today we are going to talk only about the Lok Sabha. So if we talk about Lok Sabha is the highest law making body in our country. It frames law which are made by elected representative of people known as MPs. Lok Sabha is known as lower or people's house because its members are directly elected by the people. As I discussed in the early videos, that some of the provisions of our constitution are taken from different countries from their constitutions. So this provision of parliament system is taken from British parliament system, where it has provision of bicameral parliament where two houses are there. So lower house in the British parliamentary system, where people are directly represented or chosen or elected by the people, so or members are directly elected by the people, so that is called lower house or people house. So that is why we also started calling it lower house. And on the same hand, Rajya Sabha, which do not have elected members, they are indirectly elected members, so that is why that house is called upper house. But on the same hand, we can say, although it is called lower house, it has more powers than Rajya Sabha, whereas we can say Lok Sabha can enjoy more power than the Rajya Sabha. The term of Lok Sabha is 5 years. After, whenever we are going to choose our representatives, we put vote to choose and sit them in the Lok Sabha only for the period of 5 years. After the 5-year period, they are going to suspend from the Lok Sabha and fresh elections are announced in country. Maximum strength of the Lok Sabha, that is mentioned in our constitution, that can be only 552 members or MPs, but it is not mandatory that always we have the same number, like present Lok Sabha, that is 17th Lok Sabha. 17th Lok Sabha means, as from the independent we have chosen Lok Sabha members 17 times. So this is our 17th Lok Sabha, which we have elected in 2019, and this Lok Sabha has its total strength 545 members. Out of that, 543 members are directly elected or they are elected by the people, and 2 members are nominated. Nominated means they are not elected by the people, their names are directly given by whom? President of India. And which community they belong or who can be? They are Anglo-Indian community. Anglo-Indian community means those are halfway British and halfway Indian. Those are people of this community. Out of them, any 2 members can be directly nominated by President of India to sit in the Lok Sabha. A party or alliance which has majority of MPs in the Lok Sabha form its government, but sometimes we can see a particular party do not get majority of the MPs or whatever majority is required. Like in the Lok Sabha, the majority is required 273 MPs, but sometimes any party do not get this majority. So at that time they form a alliance. Alliance is a group of different parties where they offer together their MPs to form the government. A Lok Sabha may dissolve before its term if no party gets majority. This also may happen in the Lok Sabha. Before completing the term of 5 years, a Lok Sabha can be suspended or can be dissolved. Why it happen? Because every party whoso in the power have to maintain a number of 273 for remaining in the power, but at that time when that particular party do not have its member 273, that time that party loses its majority and Lok Sabha may dissolve in case any other party claims that majority will form the government, otherwise there will be fresh election in the country. Term of Lok Sabha may extend during an emergency situation like financial emergency or natural calamity or war-like situation. In that, term of Lok Sabha may be extended, but it can be extended only for 1 year, and within that 1 year the Election Commission of India has to announce a fresh new election in country. Who is going to conduct election of Lok Sabha? So for that we are having one body that is called Election Commission of India. This is totally an independent body which do not work under the control of any government. It is totally an independent body, and for the provision of election of Lok Sabha, whole India by the Election Commission of India, whole India is divided into number of constituencies. What are constituencies? Constituencies are a small area or small geographical area where that area is divided and people of that area are going to vote and choose their representatives. So that is called our constituencies. So as you can see in this map, that whole India is divided into number of constituencies. So these constituencies are going to elect their one representative who is going to sit in the Lok Sabha, and majority of the MPs, whatever party got the majority, will form the government. So here we are having two type of parties which can just nominate their representative for fighting election or contesting election. So we are having two type of party system here. One is called national party system, other is called regional party system. National parties, those are contesting election throughout the India, or those are having their members throughout the India for election. So such parties like BJP, NCP, Congress, then Bahujan Samaj Party, CPIM and CPI. So these are called national parties. For being considered a national party, there is a criteria that must be fulfilled, or particular vote percentage. A party must hold a particular vote percentage in the last Lok Sabha election can be only considered a national party. On the other hand, there are provision of regional parties also. Regional parties, I have some symbols here like Samajwadi Party, Aam Aadmi Party, Shiv Sena Party, TRS and some other parties like Akali Dal. So these regional parties contest or just nominate their representative to contest election in particular region, or they are holding the power in one particular region, or any candidate which they are going to nominate that will be belonging in particular region. So these parties are in power in one particular region. On the other hand, one can also contest an election or can fight or can stand in the election without belonging to these both the parties, national party or regional party. So such a type of candidates are called independent candidate. They fight independently and they can be represented, or they can sit in the Lok Sabha after winning the election. After winning the election, they can decide that which particular party they are going to offer their vote when the question arises to form the government. So how election of the Lok Sabha is happening in India? So for that we are having a particular system that is adopted by ECI, Election Commission of India. This is called electronic voting machine. So it is having three units. So first unit is called control unit, second unit is called ballot unit, and third unit is called VVPAT unit. So first unit, that is with the presiding officer. That presiding officer is a representative of Election of Commission of India, who is going to verify whether this particular man or woman is in the voter list. After verifying, he press this button, and then only we can cast our vote. While casting this our vote, this particular area of the voting machine is some way away from anyone's eyesight, so that nobody can see whom we are going to vote. And while putting vote, we are going to press these buttons. These buttons are given against the candidate symbol whom we are going to vote. And similar way with this machine, this is a new introduced that is called VVPAT. So VVPAT is showing our vote where we are going to put our vote. So it will show a little slip on this particular area of the VVPAT, so that we will come to know whom we casted vote is exactly the same, or there is no confusion or there is no cheating. So that is why this machine is newly introduced by the Election Commission of India. So a candidate or candidates are elected by secret ballot. Secret ballot means, as I told you earlier also, that this is, we are not going to tell anyone whom we have voted. And similar way we can find that citizen of age 18 or above have right to vote. So in India earlier it was 21 year, but now it is decreased to 18 year. So anyone who is attaining age of 18 year or above and has his name in voter list can cast vote for electing their representative in the election. And no discrimination on the basis of caste, color, sex or religion, and everybody has given equal chance to vote. So before voting or before choosing, we need to understand what are the main qualifications for a Lok Sabha member. So what are these? To be a member of Lok Sabha, a person must be an Indian citizen, must be mentally sound, and must have completed 25-year-old of age. So anyone who wants to contest election can attain can have 25 year of age, can only fight the election. A candidate may stand for election from any part of the country, but he must be a Indian citizen. No person can be member of both the houses of parliament. Sometimes we can see a person who is member of state legislative assembly or MLA also, and he contested an election of MP also. Or sometimes we can see one member is contesting election from two places. That provision is also given in the Indian Constitution by Election Commission of India. But after winning, he have to choose, or he has to choose one particular constituency which he is going to or she is going to represent. From the other constituencies, he has to resign. That means one member can represent only one house of the parliament, and only he can be the member of one house always. So no member of parliament can hold a office of profit under a state or central government or local authority. So if somebody is holding a office of profit, so his membership is considered void, or that we are going to challenge in the court, or if we claim in front of Election Commission of India that this particular member is holding a office of profit that can be cancelled and fresh elections can be announced in that particular constituency. So who forms the government after winning the election? So as we can find here, this is representing current Lok Sabha, that is 17th Lok Sabha. So here with the color system, I try to make you understand with the different colors. So here you can find the saffron color is representing majority of MPs. This blue color is representing other parties and other colors are representing other parties. Those who did not get majority of MPs, they are always sitting in the left, and those are in the power, they are always sitting in the right hand side of the Lok Sabha chairs. And here we can find that particularly in the Lok Sabha, a party which has majority of MPs choose their leader of Lok Sabha, who is invited by the President of India to form the government. So after the election, party which is getting majority, they will sit together in a meeting and just represent their leader of Lok Sabha, and that leader of Lok Sabha is called by the President of India to just claim the majority, and after forming the government they need to prove this majority in the Lok Sabha within first meeting of the Lok Sabha. Or sometime we can say that majority party do not have claimed, then in the case or when it is chance given to first majority party, they do not claim to form the government or they are not able to show the majority, then the preference is given to the second largest party of the Lok Sabha. So the current number of the Lok Sabha, that is 545. And for majority, we need 273 MPs are required. This number is called the magical number. This number any party have to maintain throughout the 5 years. If within these 5 years any party fails to maintain this number, then the term of this Lok Sabha can be dissolved and fresh election can be announced in the country. And leader of majority party will be appointed as PM or Prime Minister by the President of India. So the President also appoint cabinet ministers on the advice of PM. PM after proving its majority in the Lok Sabha, he can advise some MPs or some who are not MPs, but he can advise their names also to form his cabinet. So cabinet ministers are those are going to help executive to a flawless functioning, or those are going to help in the different portfolios. These cabinet minister are given different portfolios like agriculture ministry, or like we can say finance ministry, or like home affairs. So all these matters are given. So here we can have Indian elections of 2019, their majority or major parties and their symbols, as you can see. So like we can discuss some that BJP, who is the majority party, then Indian National Congress, that is the second largest party. So these are the main parties which are going to or which contested election, and after that they got number of seats in the Lok Sabha election. So here I am going to make you understand that how much vote percentage they got. Like we can see, we are having different alliances here. So BJP alliance, that is called NDA, and Congress alliance, that is called UPA. So NDA means non-democratic front and UPA means United Progressive Alliance. And third is non-aligned. Non-aligned means those are not at all part of these above two alliances. So here you can see that saffron color is showing the vote or MPs of the BJP, and this blue color is showing saffron color is not only of the BJP, that is a full NDA, that is having many other parties also. I think total 16 parties are there, those are making NDA. Similar way UPA, that is having this blue color, and last but not the least, that is in the black color, those parties, those are not at all part of these two alliances. So what is their vote percentage? As you can see, NDA alliance that got 43% of the vote, UPA that got 25% of the vote, and other they got 30% of the vote. And here we are having few parties, those who got number of MPs like 303 MPs with the BJP, 18 with the Shiv Sena, 16 with the Janata Dal, AIADMK 1, other 12, and similar way Congress got 52, and some of the parties belonging to Congress, they got togetherly. So these are the main list of the MPs, how many MPs to one particular party. Now here we have our newly appointed Prime Minister, who is appointed in 2019, that is Mr. Narendra Modi, and here we have his cabinet minister, like we can say Minister of Home Affairs, that is Amit Shah. So after the Prime Minister, the second important post is Minister of Home Affairs, so that is with Mr. Amit Shah. So all other ministers and cabinet ministers are also given. Here the cabinet ministers, some are given independent charge, some are appointed under the same ministry with the state affairs, or they deal with particular state affairs. So similar way, as we having a government in the Lok Sabha, we are having opposition also in the Lok Sabha. So second majority party sits in the opposition and has a leader of opposition. But as we can see in the 17th Lok Sabha 2019, no opposition party was able to get the minimum requirement, that is 10% of the total seat. So claim of the leader of opposition, so no party going to claim for that, hence post of the leader of opposition is totally vacant. But each party has its leader of Lok Sabha, whom they are going to choose as a representative of their party in the Lok Sabha, who represent his party in the Lok Sabha, and this representative is just going to raise his party's voice in the Lok Sabha. Similar way we can find leader of Congress party in the Lok Sabha, that is Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Here I have given his pick also. So second most important post after leader of opposition, that is Speaker of the Parliament. Both the parliaments, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, has a speaker. So who can be the speaker in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? If we talk about Rajya Sabha, the Vice President of India is Speaker of the Rajya Sabha, and he is the second administrative head of the nation. Whereas in the Lok Sabha, the Speaker or Deputy Speaker, that we are going to choose from the MPs through their voting, or they are going to choose their representative of speaker from their vote. So this particular elected one is called our Speaker of the Parliament. So he is also very important in the parliamentary system. He is the third head of the nation after President and Prime Minister. So similar way he enjoys some powers also, as we can see administrative head, and he is responsible for a smooth working of the parliament or smooth working of the Lok Sabha. Then some powers he can take action against or penalize any or give some penalties to some members those are violating some raw laws or rules of the Lok Sabha for its smooth working. Then power to vote in the deadlock situation. He is having power to vote. Like for example, sometime we can say there is any situation where any law we have to pass and both the side got 10 vote, opposition got 10 vote and the party ruling party also got 10 vote. In that situation, one vote is the deciding one, that is of the speaker. In that situation, speaker may vote in the deadlock situation where he can vote and decide that which side he is going to vote and which side will win. Then power to suspend the representative of house. Like sometime we can see some representatives they are violating the laws or rules of the Lok Sabha. That time he has power to suspend some of the MPs for few days or few sessions or few workings of the Lok Sabha. Like that we can see in this current Lok Sabha, Om Birla, who is in the speaker of 17th Lok Sabha, and he succeeded from Sumitra Mahajan. She was speaker of 16th Lok Sabha. So like that, Lok Sabha enjoys some powers also. So what are these powers? Like we can say to make the laws on the matter including union list, concurrent list, can introduce or erect money or non-money bills and approve or like we can see it can approve proposal of the new taxes. And similar way sometime we can see that most of the time budget is very important in the Lok Sabha. So Lok Sabha that look after the budget is that expenditure or estimate of the income which government see within a year. So this budget, before going to make any expenditure, government makes a budget that is represented in front of MPs of Lok Sabha, and after the discussion in the Lok Sabha, that budget get passed. So this budget is very important document. So Lok Sabha also has right to make budget, and similar way control the executive. Like we can see that whenever we see working of the Lok Sabha, some MPs are asking questions from the cabinet minister, from the prime minister, or from his government. So this keep check on their authorities and their powers. So that time it makes a control or complete control of people over government, so that government should work for the welfare of the people and should not act as uncontrollable. Then it can amend constitution. So that provision is also given in the Lok Sabha, that it can change any law or it can suspend any law or it can introduce any new law, or it can also announce emergency situation like it is war or like it is a natural calamity, or sometime we can say that there is disturbance within the country, political disturbance or any other. So that time also Lok Sabha announce emergency situation. Then it can also elect president. The voting of all the MPs, they are going to put vote for choosing our president and vice president. Same way impeachment of the judge of the High Court and Supreme Court, that can be also done by Lok Sabha. In the Lok Sabha, there if somebody feel that this particular bench or this particular judge, they are not just focusing on the judicial system or not making a smooth working of the judicial system, so they can be impeached by voting of the Lok Sabha or by the majority of the Lok Sabha MPs. It established different committees. This committees having members not only of the government but also of the opposition parties. Those are making different committees for smooth working of the country, so that we can make a smooth working laws for whole country. But on the same time, Lok Sabha enjoys some special powers over Rajya Sabha, like in the case of money bill. So money bill or a financial bill only represented or only presented in the Lok Sabha. It cannot be presented in Rajya Sabha, or Lok Sabha is only having right to pass the money bill. So first of all the money bills are presented in only Lok Sabha, but same time Rajya Sabha do not have any right to give or to just put down the law or just put up the law. Lok Sabha has all the authorities on the money bill. Rajya Sabha only recommend some amendments, and that amendments also is on the will of Lok Sabha, that whether they are going to accept, they may accept or may not accept these recommendations. So like that, whenever any bill is presented in the Lok Sabha, MPs are going to make a discussion from the opposition side and from the ruling party side, and after the discussion, if that majority of the people pass, then it becomes a law. And sometime there is a voting on this bill. When people vote and it get passed, it become law after getting signed from the president. But on the same time, president also do not hold any power to stop any law. If president sometime feel that this law is not appropriate, he may send again this particular bill to the Lok Sabha to rethink over it. But after rethinking, if the same bill is put forward to the president by the Lok Sabha, that time president do not have any right to stop the bill. He have to sign over the bill, and that bill becomes the law of the land. In this way, this Lok Sabha work. Hope you understood the topic. Thank you very much. In the comment section, I am going to give some descriptions of the difference of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and their power. That also you need to check. Thank you very much.